Hi, everybody. My name is Jenny, and I have been going to CTBC for a very long time. Some of you know me, some of you don't, but that's okay. With this testimonial, I hope I can share a little bit about myself. Um, so, I was born and raised in Canada, and my parents were not religious when I was growing up. I did not come from a Christian family. The impression of Christians when I was growing up was that they were brainwashed and they wanted to avoid life's problems by willingly believing in rainbows and butterflies as long as they behaved. It was unrealistic and it wasn't something, I guess, smart. That was the impression. And growing up, I was a smart kid, but sometimes I wasn't able to fit into places because of it. People always have opinions of what kind of person you are before they even talk to you. And so I had good grades growing up. Eventually, I graduated, and I went to work at a sushi restaurant while I was going to university. One day, a friend of mine, he died suddenly. He had just turned 18 and he received a car for his birthday. The first night out with it, he got into an accident. So I went to his funeral. He was a Christian, and at his funeral, they read a poem that he wrote, and it was about love, and it was also about hope. I thought it was kind of interesting that someone I thought he was, he was someone intelligent and wise. For someone like him to be a Christian made me look carefully. The whole funeral, people were giving testimonials about him, like his own life. He was just like a ray of sunshine always, and I always knew that there was something different about him. And at his funeral, I kind of saw what that was. It was his relationship with a God that I didn't know anything about. So I wanted to know a little bit more about it. And I knew that I had a Bible in my attic that I got for some reason and I've never looked at. When I went home, I opened it up and I tried to read it on my own, but I couldn't make heads or tails of it. I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And I thought, I probably need, to go to a church or something, have somebody show me. But that's never going to happen because I don't know anybody like to bring me there. And then I didn't think much about it. But the next day I went to work. I think it was like either the next day or shortly after. I was early for work and I was hanging out at the counter when a person I've never seen before started talking with me. He explained that he was waiting for my coworker in the kitchen to get off his shift. And within 5 minutes of having a conversation with me, he asked me to go to his church. He invited me to his church. And I decided to go because I thought, what, such coincidence that I was just thinking about this and then here he is. But, obviously it wasn't really a coincidence that I didn't know then, but I know now. I went with him to the church and everybody was very friendly and everything was very nice. But they were all Koreans and I didn't, really know Korean myself. I didn't know any of the people there. So I told another friend of mine at the time, Wei, who is the son of Ed and Helen, and he brought me to CTBC. And I guess the rest of that is history. Eventually, I met Ben, who is husband at this church, and after seeing each other for a few years, we got married. For anyone who doesn't know, Ben is 2 years and 11 months younger than me. So at the time when I met him, I was, hoping to be married soon. I had like a timeline in my head. I wanted to be married by a certain age, but he was a young guy, and I guess we were on, he had different needs, and it was a struggle with me and God. Like I wanted something to happen, it wasn't happening. It was a struggle at the time, and I had to really understand what it was that I wanted. And it was there was a point where I realized that, you know, it was either making myself miserable or understanding truly, not just like knowing with your head what the word of God was saying, but to have it in your heart and to accept it. And God said to me, he was patient, but he waited for me to say to God, yes, you can have this thing in my life that I'm struggling with, this desire of mine, my plans, my way. I'll give it up. I'll give it to you because I can't do anything with it. I can't control anything in this life. You know best for me, so I'll let you handle my life. And it was when I've decided that to take it to heart, that suddenly everything fell into place. Ben unexpectedly proposed to me soon after that thought, and it just made me realize that, for however much you pray, God will not give you something that you are not ready for. And it brought me closer on my walk with Him. And soon after we were married, Ben and I were expecting our first child. So we were ecstatic. We were over the moon. We were completely overjoyed. I've always wanted to be a mother ever since I was a little baby myself, like a toddler. I played with dolls growing up as a little girl. I wanted to be mommy. It was just a part of my heart that defined who I am to a degree. Like I knew that it was something I really wanted. But 3 months into the pregnancy, I learned that we've lost the baby and there was no heartbeat. And we were completely devastated. It was, I felt grief. But at the time, I remember that God was there for me. And I remember hearing God asking me, are you okay? Would you be okay with giving even this, your deepest desires, to me? And through that sorrow that I felt, there was a little spark of joy in me because I knew the answer. I knew in my heart that yes, you can have this too, Lord. You can have this too. I'm fine because you're here for me. My baby died, but I'll be fine. And was it because I was strong? No, it was because I had God. And I remember Isaiah 49:15. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. Like a woman will forget her child before God will forget us. And I remember that. And as a mother now, it's hard to believe that any mother can forget their children. But God said that will happen before He will forget you. So through your deepest losses, your pains, your disappointments, through all the waiting, the unknowing, God's in it all. He is there for you. Many of the youth now don't really know who I am, but I am your sister. I am your fellow student. I am yours to talk to. Ask me anything. I am always willing to share. There's so much more I can share, but I have to cut this short or else I'm going to be recording this again. I'll leave this with a final verse I often think about, a familiar one to us all. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Thank you. See you around.